G'day, I'm Brian Medway and I'm talking about the kingdom of God, and that's a really important subject because it's what Jesus spoke about every day of his life on earth, and no doubt he's still speaking about it from heaven. I just talked a few times before this, and so I'm not going to repeat what I've said before there, but I'm just trying to give some sort of idea about how kingdom is different from some of the things that we've become used to as followers of Jesus and as members of congregations and all that sort of stuff. Because we have 42,000 different denominations in the world now, and they keep on splitting, and it's a bit weird. It's horrible, really. That's the truth. And all of those are defined by statements of faith. Most of them are taken from the Bible. Most of them are from groups who recognise the authority of the Bible. Most of them are followers of Jesus, but 42,000 people have to collect in different ways in order to define themselves, and that's a weird deal. Most of them believe the Bible. So here's a funny deal. Now I want to just explain something to define the kingdom of God, or describe the kingdom of God by contrast, because you can sometimes tell better what something is by describing the opposite of what it is. And the opposite of kingdom is tribal. Now I know this because I'm a loyal fan of the Canberra Raiders rugby league team of the ACT. I'm also a follower of the Sydney Swans in the AFL, and they're a bit further up the track from here. I'm a passionate supporter of the Blues. It's state of origin time and all of this sort of stuff. And all these things, Raiders, etc., are all tribal. They're incredibly tribal. And when I go to a game and there's 15,000 or so, we don't get as many as Victoria, but 15,000 loyal fans on a cold day, winter's day in Canberra, and we do the Viking clap together and so forth. All of us are wearing green, or just about all of us. And there's some other team there with some other colour on, and we know exactly, immediately we know who's in and who's out. We know who's for us and who's against us. We know who we like and who we don't like. And when the referee makes a decision that doesn't go in our favour, we know automatically that he's wrong, that he somehow doesn't like us, that he's unfairly penalising us. And when the other team gets a penalty, when we get a penalty, we think that's justice being done. These are all the aspects of tribal. We know the song. We wave the flag. All that kind of stuff. And so it's incredibly tribal, and there are some thousands of people who belong to the Canberra Raiders Football Club, and they belong in a very particular way, and you don't belong to two teams or two clubs, you just belong to one. And so that's tribal. Now, the same is true for people who think that Christianity is defined by whatever particular tribe they belong to. The Calvinist tribe, the Presbyterian tribe, the Baptist tribe, the Anglican tribe, the Catholic tribe. All these are tribes, and tribes by nature have defined who is in and who is out. They've defined membership by certain standards, and so if you elect the standards, you're in, and if you don't, you're out, etc., etc. And they sing all the songs, and they don't often have colours, but sometimes they do. Some denominations I know, movements I know, all their churches are franchised. They all look the same, sound the same. They have services that are the same, and so you can tell an Anglican service from a Catholic service. They're a bit the same, but they're different, and all that kind of stuff. So this is tribal, and the idea is, you'd think the idea was to show what is distinctive about us, and to show then why we are what we are, and to show why we're not something else. And this is tribal. I want to tell you, it has nothing to do with the kingdom of God. It has everything to do with what Jesus was talking about when he said to the disciples, they said, is this the time you're going to restore the kingdom to Israel? Are you going to restore the kingdom to the Catholic Church? Are you going to restore the kingdom to the Anglican, to the AOG, ACC, whatever you want to call it? Well, all of that is tribal. And sadly, people have worn a badge, worn the colours. Their sense of belonging to Jesus was defined more by their tribe than by their actual commitment to serve Jesus Christ. So, bad deal. And God is setting us free from this. Because heaven is not like that. There's no Anglicans in heaven. There's no Catholics in heaven. There's no Baptists in heaven. Yeah, there's one, John the Baptist. That's all. You know, so we're supposed to look like heaven, and all we do is keep on looking more like the earth. Bad deal.